I immediately regret this decision.
And I do. I very much regret doing this. I am very, very sad. I hate this movie. I hate these movies. These movies are terrible. Anyway, allow me to bring on my running mate for this series. He's missed a few, but he's seen most of them. So let's bring in Tarek.
Here's to the bard and the calling me bum. Here's to the beast and the rest of you scum. The cage is now in and the town is aflame, and it's ours for the taking, though you get the fame.
I can't believe I'm wasting my fucking time again.
Well, at least we'll watch. You know what? I'm down to watch all the Evil Dead movies.
Oh! You're down to watch a good movie. Well, hallelujah. Christ. Well, la-dee-da.
I love Angry Tarek. Angry Tarek is the best.
Bring in the other guy, for God's sake.
Okay. I can do that. Uno momento. Oh. 3. Oh, I thought I had entrances. Let me see. One second. I thought I'd uploaded this thing. Strong part. Yeah, I'm excited. Well, I'm excited. I am showing some enthusiasm.
Again. Oh, he's excited about a good movie. Well, ain't that just... All right, bring the other guy.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Hello there. It's that line again.
Indeed. I'm excited to finally reach this milestone. We finished the Transformers movies.
Well, the Bayformers ones.
We finished the bad ones. We've endured the trial by fire. We have endured the trial by fire. Well, actually, no. Trial by fire is too cool sounding. It was trial by crap.
This is probably worse than the Bay of Chaos from Dark Souls.
Yeah.
The worst experience.
Yeah, kind of. This was pretty bad. These are pretty bad movies.
Oh my god, especially the last one.
Yeah, this one drops a tactical nuke of such immense proportions on the world building that there's nothing that they could have done to fix it.
I'm gonna be blunt. When we watched this, I got so lost.
Yeah, I felt lost and already watched the movie for you guys.
That plot made absolutely no sense.
Oh my god. Okay, so Eric Kruger didn't write this one, didn't he?
No, it was Akiva Goldsman.
Gave us Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Nice.
Batman and Robin is way more entertaining. Yep. Just perfectly Derek.
What you've done to me would be considered a war crime in most countries. The both of you.
Me?
No, I'm talking to Becca too.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still your friend, I guess.
You're frenemies.
I don't think I've ever used the word friend when referring to you. The reason I keep coming here is because you need to bring the talent.
Yeah. Yeah, you are indeed the talent. I will not disagree with you there.
I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's just start, please. I hate the fact I'm wasting my time.
Hey, here's replica films.
Hello. Always a pleasure.
Oh, he comes back for thirds. This boy is hungry.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like
I was
Roger
watching
Moore,
your conversation from last night earlier.
Come on. Well, I'm just working on trying to get the Phantom Menace stream uploaded to Rumble. I hope that I can.
Yeah. I had to post my my edit of our reaction to Transformers Farm Rumble because I couldn't get it through on YouTube.
I'm just talking about the files.
Yeah. What I'm going to make my own review on it. I'm going to take a shot, try and be a review.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
I don't have a stake in this one, Fuzz. It's not part of my childhood. Well, I put it out if you want to watch the movie for free. It's up on our commentary is up on Rumble. We are not respectful of the movie at all.
No. Just wait till we get to the part when they talk about the Watch Kill Hitler and just see what me and Tarek were talking about. Remember that, Tarek?
No, in all honesty, that night was a blur. Like it was like a drunken binge that I can't remember. I remember watching the movie, but I do not remember anything about it, nor any kind of snark I said about it.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that you are that we're kind of getting to the overall thoughts. This movie is terrible.
Oh my god. This is probably one of the worst written movies I have ever seen.
I can't even really it's a movie in that it moves, because I have no idea what was going on in that movie at any moment. None of it made any sense.
Yeah, as I said, this is like as we said, it's like the silent worst movie of 2017. A lot of people say it's The Last Jedi. That's because no one went to see this movie.
I still stand by that Last Jedi is a more damaging movie, but
yeah, obviously, like I know we're going to have like a debate stream trying to talk about which series is worse, sequels or this. And as you said, like sequels are obviously more damaging to the brand, but these movies might still be objectively worse.
No, they are definitely worse made movies. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I am very, very glad that we could get at that sort of, because I definitely believe these are worse written, and
I mean, and at least the sequels had mostly solid acting outside Daisy acting Ridley,
and they don't have necessarily the problem with they at least have some measure of arcs in them. They're terrible arcs, but they are still arcs.
Or arcs are just kind of dropped like fins.
Bayformers are like a drug trip. It's not the same thing.
No,
No.
It's like a very bad drug trip.
It's just terrible all around.
Yeah, they're all 5 of these movies are bad.
Yeah.
I know that I downloaded them. What is wrong? Why? I downloaded these. I downloaded the commentary. Why is it? Yes. I think. Oh, maybe I didn't download it in time, or maybe it just didn't download properly. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's what Space Junk said. The sequels have better editing, for whatever that means.
Yeah. They have
Well,
better editing.
they're edited.
Yeah, Replica. No, Transformers 4 is hot garbage.
Yeah, Transformers 4 is the second worst. This
Yeah,
one's the
each
worst.
movie is just progressively worse.
Yeah, and the first movie is like a 2 out of 10, and then it's the rest of them are all 1s.
Probably. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. 2 is. I hate to say it, but 2 grew on me because it is just. It's so amazing how Michael Bay can get every major detail wrong, but yet he's very good at the minutia.
Yeah, I would agree.
You can probably argue that Dark Moon's a little better than 2. That'd probably just be up to me, but yeah, I'm not saying it's by a large margin.
No, I would agree with that. Phantom Menace is like legit Revenge of the Fallen is so bad. It's so dumb.
Enemy scrotum.
I am directly below. The
Enemy scrotum.
Why did it have a? No, wait. We learned that Transformers do breed sexually. Remember, they have Transformer eggs.
Oh yeah, and remember what Optimus tells Mark's character in Transformers 4, like how it's like I went through that with Bumblebee, like when Mark was complaining about his daughter. So does that mean Bumblebee had a girlfriend before?
I don't know. They're robots. How do they procreate?
Oh no.
Maybe it's like in Futurama.
Oh no. I've lost the Phantom Menace commentary.
Uh-oh.
Thankfully I have Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
I guess they're committing Order 66 on your commentary.
Yeah.
Prequel
Yeah,
fans.
the toilet humor is terrible. Yeah, there's so much terrible. I love this. I'm not in the mood for this false equivalence.
False equivalence? What?
What? That was just a false equivalence.
It's just not the case, and you're barking up the wrong tree. Have fun with the rest of the screen.
I have never met a dumber man in my entire life. I hesitate to call him a man, but I have never met a dumber dipshit.
Well, they do. Well, in 2, Mr.
Jetfire says he had
A
his
mom
father
and
was
a
a wheel.
dad. My father was a wheel. He didn't transform. You know what he transformed into? Nothing, but he did it with honor.
I love that he's Scottish. It's just, and he has a cane. Like, okay, you're a Blackhawk. You transformed into a Blackhawk. What was that? That kind of plane came out in what, the 70s, the 90s?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about the new Venom movie? Sorry, I'm just saw an ad for it.
I have. I'm not interested. I didn't see the first one.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Yeah. Falls into a taser in the toilet of the aerodynamic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
That whole thing was absolutely stupid. Boo, you get scared away Replica.
No. We didn't scare him away. He pussied out.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He He bitched out.
Yeah, because he has a problem where he doesn't like to be challenged, and it's okay.
No, it's not okay. It is not okay. You're never going to get anywhere in life if you aren't challenged.
Yeah. Yeah. So overall thoughts, this movie is an incoherent mess that has some of the worst world building I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Oh yeah, I remember that's what I said. Like, oh, this honestly makes the sequel's world building look almost okay. Almost.
Yeah, the sequel's world building is really bad. We just barely watched The Force Awakens a few days ago and just like, oh my gosh.
You said that you're watching Last Jedi Tuesday?
Yep.
I want to be there for that. What time?
It'd probably be in the evening.
All right.
I feel like an abused spouse at this point.
Don't worry, you don't have to watch Rise of Skywalker.
No, I already did it with you. Again, I feel like an abused spouse.
Okay, we will. Okay, how about this for the rest of the horror? So for the rest of the month of October, once we finish with the sequels, you may pick our movie selection.
I'm trying to. I know there are so many bad horror movies, but the problem is I've never seen any of them. I like to see good things.
Or what world building? We have World War II Bumblebee fighting Nazis.
Oh yeah, we did. I forgot about that.
Well, we have the Transformer watch that kills Hitler that Mr. Hopkins uses as blackmail later on.
Yeah.
The thing about that is it's almost implied that he made those. That's the way I interpreted it. Because there are
like he would have been a kid around World War II if he was even born.
Well, the way I interpreted it, with the way they don't look like any other kind of Transformer.
It doesn't matter. Nothing's movie's consistent. It probably is Transformer. I mean, it's probably just like those small Transformers we see in 1 and 2.
What about the fact that every movie we keep being told, hey, the Transformers were here earlier and earlier and earlier, when in the first movie this was the first time?
Well, at least in Transformers 4, in Transformers 4, at least it says so far back in time, it doesn't contradict the first movie. Unlike this one, when we shows that Bumblebee fought in World War II.
And yet, you're right, because he didn't appear until the first movie.
Yeah, he fell from space, didn't he? Like in that scene which they were all falling from space.
Do you know what the only other movie I've ever seen that kind of screws up continuity this badly?
What?
It was the Resident Evil movies.
Oh yeah, EFABs, but I know EFAB has to make their EFAB movies on them.
I've seen all 6.
Oh my god.
The 6th one is the worst offender of this because it completely ignores the second movie, like the lore in the second movie. It is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. So what are we bitching about first?
I would say characters. Well, summary first.
Yeah, what the hell are characters? What?
Yeah, well, I guess like we should summarize. Basically, MacGuffin of the movie. It's the exact same movie every single time. It's basically just MacGuffins. The MacGuffin in this case relating back to the fact that apparently King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table were assisted by 5 knights.
Well, there's actually, I think, more than that, because I think there was like 12 of them that formed the King Ghidorah clone.
Oh, yeah. And there's this whole thing with Stanley Tucci playing drunk Merlin.
Oh, that was Stanley Tucci?
Yeah, that was Stanley Tucci.
Oh.
That was just bizarre.
Well, at least he had that one funny line.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, like
I'll give
about
up
like how he
drinking and
said
lying.
that he was
and
about to
wi-
say he was giving up women, but he backtracks on it and says, "I'm giving up drinking."
And not only that, but those Transformers in there, or the Autobots or whatever the hell in that wreckage, they were real quick to help for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it's even weirder because it kind of makes it implied that, kind of implies that they've had dealings with humans before, but it makes no sense.
hmm And especially since like it's revealed in this movie that the Earth is Unicron.
Yeah, at that point, Michael Bay is ripping off Transformers Prime. I mean, he already ripped off Animated with Lockdown, so I guess this was the next logical step.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I only watched Armada as a kid, and Unicron in that was literally just a planet-sized transformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically like kind of like they're just kind of going with the idea that the planet Earth is a giant transformer and they have to keep him asleep or else he will transform and the Earth will crack.
Yeah. And that Quintessa is trying to use Cybertron to destroy Earth and Unicron.
Cybertron was small.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah, that's something I talk about. Like, it was larger in Transformers 3, but now it's just become smaller somehow. Like, I get that it's supposed to be dying or whatever, but it shouldn't have been gotten that much smaller.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, they're killing the government is killing Autobots and capturing Decepticons?
Yeah, I mean, it makes the whole premise of Transformers 4 even worse, since it didn't make sense why they just turned on them. And now we learn that they capture the Decepticons, but they just kill all Autobots on sight.
Which makes no sense at all, considering, like, you had what was essentially a rabid transformer.
Not to
Like
mention how they would been able to capture the Decepticons in the first place, with the Decepticons appearing to be fully operational.
Again, my biggest issue with that whole thing was that you had that one Decepticon who was a total psychopath.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was he was barking like a dog.
Oh yeah, that gangster looking one with the mohawk.
Literally, his name is Mohawk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and what's worse is that after that the first Suicide Squad-esque introduction scene, they just kill most of them off with barely any screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you have Mr. Cade Yeager returning from the fourth movie, Mr. Marky Mark. His daughter has been yeeted out of this universe.
She
don't
wanted
care.
out.
Yeah,
Oh,
and apparently, and the
clearly.
movie also implies that she and her boyfriend from the last movie broke up, which makes like a huge part of that movie pointless.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. So, even though he was kind of pathetic, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he really did anything to really earn Mark's trust. Especially
No.
since after that one scene when, like, stupid scene when they discovered the sword guns, he was like, I surrender. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, like, nothing really carried over between the two movies.
Yeah.
Great-
Especially, in
No.
the last movie, they saved Hong Kong, but for some reason, they're still wanted. And for some reason, we're told that Cuba is the only country in the world where Autobots aren't illegal. But why not Hong Kong, since they saved them in the last movie?
No, better question is, why would the American government allow Cuba to house Transformers? Like, as a sanctuary? Why would they allow this?
Yeah. And why wouldn't there be more... why aren't, like, our main heroes there in Cuba? Where are they at? In Mexico? Texas? like where are they at? I know they're somewhere in the
Texas,
desert.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
or
but-
Arizona.
yeah. Like, how come they don't just go to Cuba, where it'd be a million times safer?
The U.S.
That-
government would extradite all of them as quickly as possible. And I know, like, Cuba, the only reason why America hasn't attacked Cuba after the Cold War is because there was no value. But if they're housing, like, Transformers and Autobots, the U.S. government would just pull on a full-scale invasion.
Yeah, for all they know, they could be trying using the Transformers as a means for, like, a planetary insurrection.
Oh, exactly.
This is great. I'm gonna be honest, my brain melts when I hear the techno. Oh, Transformer turn thingies. The heck is a Decepticon? Lol, I'm just here as moral support, eternally groveling for my Twilight crimes. Yeah, the Cuba thing is dumb, and it only exists for John Turturro to spout scrotum jokes and facilitate the finding of the stupid MacGuffin staff.
Oh my god.
Like, I think like he says scrotum 5 or 6 times in this movie in the 5 minutes of screen time he has.
Oh yeah. Oh wait. Look at Truth Shall Prevail comment. Well, buddy,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We don't,
We don't
know.
know. They just kind of forgot.
Like I keep saying, fucking Game of Thrones has ruined everything from fantasy writing straight down to commentary. Oh, they just forgot. Yeah, I'm going to be hearing that for the next 10 years.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah.
A show I never watched, never cared for, and yet I will never hear the end of it.
Yeah, same thing here. Like how she forgot that fleet, whoever those guys were.
Dude.
Season 7.
Dude,
Dude.
shut up. Just
While Danny kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet and Euron's forces, they certainly haven't forgotten about her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they kind of are. Yeah.
I'm again. You're gonna
Yeah,
be
and
hearing
it kind
that
of calls
quote-
into question how the Decepticons were apparently winning the war to
Skids.
begin with.
Skids, Tarek was talking.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted
What-
to get that out there. Terry.
like I was saying though. Again, the whole thing. I'm gonna be hearing that quote for probably the next 10 years on a variety of Discord servers, and that makes me irrationally angry.
Okay. Skids, your thought? Oh, no.
No, I was just letting Terry talk.
Okay.
Oh, but here's the thing: you will never hear anyone actively do a Transformers quote, like unless it's like Autobots roll out. That's the only time you'll probably hear anyone use a Transformers quote.
Yeah. I'm still kind of sad that
Or till
Replica
one.
isn't here.
Well,
I'm kind of
No quotes from these movies.
Yeah. Well, unless like nah, we don't do much reading. Or I the whole plate. The whole plate.
I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I'm glad Valerian isn't here right now because we'll be getting quotes for days, and I do not want that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even know what he's quoting. He'd just be saying stuff.
All right. So, want to talk about Quintessa? We haven't gotten to her yet.
Yeah. Apparently, Optimus Prime just gets captured
Yeah.
by this female transformer goddess person
Yeah.
and mind controlled into being Nemesis Prime, which lasts about, I don't know, like
Yeah.
7 minutes of screen time,
mean-
and then he's
No. Technically, it lasts like
Yeah.
80% of the running time, but it never shows up till the end.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Not to mention, her it also creates another continuity error from the fourth movie. Like, remember, fourth movie Lockdown said that there were implied that there were multiple creators and that they wanted Optimus because he was disturbing the cosmic balance. But here, though, we're only shown Quintessa, and she just wants them just that way they can use Cybertron to destroy Earth and thus Unicron.
I still don't understand. Did they ever mention this woman before? Like,
Nope.
No.
So when they say there are multiple creators, is there a religion on Cybertron? Like, you follow the sect of Quintessa, or you follow the sect of Unicron?
I just wonder if Primus is a thing in this universe.
Oh, so there's a moment in Transformers 4 at the very beginning where you see these weird organic-looking tissue bomb the surface of the Earth and that's the only thing that we see.
That was still really odd, and it was almost never brought up again. In fact, I don't think it was.
Mm.
Also, I love it that in each movie, Megatron is not even a presence in it anymore.
No.
Yeah, especially in Transformers 4 and 5.
Oh, yeah, no, he was in it, but he kind of just disappeared from the movie.
Yeah, like he doesn't even really fight in Hong Kong.
He gets a butt kicked really easily.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying when we were at the end of the movie.
Yeah. And so they go on this MacGuffin chase, and we'll get into some of the dumb things, but the climax is awful. The climax of this movie is so long.
It's probably the worst climax out of all the movies.
Yeah. And it's really, really... and another problem is the characters. Let's get into the treasure hunt style thing is dumb.
Yeah.
But the characters are so bad. I even had to put characters in giant air quotes.
Yeah, just about, though.
Would you say Mark Wahlberg's character is better than worse in this movie than the last one?
I still don't think he has a character at all.
He's just inventor guy, and in this, he's inventor guy who gets a British girlfriend.
Yeah, and as I said, I think the romance in the first Suicide Squad, the original, is better than the romance here.
I've only seen the EFAP movies of Suicide Squad. I haven't seen the actual movie.
I'm talking about between Captain Red Flag and like that girl that ends up being Enchantress. Well, that ends up being possessed by Enchantress. And it's supposed to be like the emotional center of the movie.
I don't remember any of the details.
Well, it's a terrible movie, so...
I just didn't see Suicide Squad, period.
I've seen the EFAP movies, so I only like vaguely remember anything other than the snarky jokes. Well, we'll get to the climax a little bit later on, but the characters, like, it's basically just Kate Yeager and Dora the Explorer. I don't even remember her name. It's just same actress. It's Dora the Explorer. She's just Dora the Explorer for robots.
She's honestly the Ray of this movie. Not that she's Mary Sue, but that she's just British and just gets dragged everywhere where the plot needs her to be.
You mean the Star-Lord's mom? Or do you mean, or Dora?
I was referring to Star Wars mom. Oh yeah, I forgot. I thought you were talking about Star Wars mom for a second, but yeah, I forgot about the girl because she's so pointless. She's so pointless.
Yeah. She is pretty much pointless.
I mean, she's not really that annoying. It's just that she's not really in the movie.
Yeah. It kind of feels like this movie is a ton of dumb ideas that are sandwiched together because Michael Bay doesn't know the meaning of restraint. and
Yeah.
cutting things that are not pertinent to the plot.
I just wonder, are there director's cuts these movies? Because you make me wonder if what more there could potentially be in there.
We're not watching those.
No.
There are director's cut DVDs.
Oh God!
Oh Lord. Why?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Actually, they just have special editions. I don't know what they probably just. I don't think
Probably
there's anything
commentary or something.
different. Probably.
And it's probably Michael Bay saying, you know, when I shot this scene, I had something completely different in mind, but then I had a revelation on set, and I got to tell you, this was the best thing I've ever done.
What? Don't. Yeah, don't worry. We're not gonna watch it. Tara's broken Transformer
Oh
pet
yeah, the
blows.
Wall-E ripoff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's also pointless.
Yeah, it's there's so much pointless garbage. Like, why is Hot Rod French? They even say that it's pointless.
And he even
yeah.
no, wait, didn't he say he hates France or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so little to talk about with these.
There's
characters.
nothing to talk about with the movie. Period.
Yeah,
Like,
Not to
I'm
mention the Dinobots are in here, but they even have less screen time than in the fourth movie.
I am genuinely trying to think of anything to say about these movies, but I got nothing. There's nothing to say because nothing happens. There's no consequence to anything.
They're just stereotypes, really. Well, they're just caricatures. Like, she's just uptight British girl who eventually learns to like the kind of really, really dumb American jock who's also an inventor, which I call BS on.
Yeah,
That
like it's
that-
basically just a uptight girl and just a basically just an untight, just an untight man. That's pretty much it.
You were saying, Tarek?
I was gonna say that's what happened. Like, I just kind of remember, yeah, she grew fond of him for whatever reason.
Nope. They kiss at the end of the movie.
I just thought there was a quota. Like, that didn't come naturally. I thought there was just a quota.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll get to. You know what? There's nothing really to talk about with the characters. There's apparently Marky Mark is the chosen one that has the magic sword.
Is he? I thought the woman was the chosen one because she was the granddaughter or something of Merlin.
They're both chosen ones. Everybody's chosen one.
Yeah, he's chosen one because he's one of the knights, and he uses the sword to block the knight from killing Optimus.
I mean, that should have just cut his arms
ripped his
clean
arm off.
Yeah, rip his arms off, clean off his body, like that Black Knight from Monty Python Quest from the Holy Grail.
The amount of force should have ripped him apart.
Yeah, it's just like what happened between him and Lockdown the last movie. I mean, I swear that guy's like the strongest arms on planet Earth in the universe.
He's got Superman arms. Clearly, this man has the strength and durability of Superman, considering what his body goes through in this movie.
Yeah. Okay, and there's that
Also,
black comic relief guy who's pointless, serves no purpose.
He's not even in the movie very long now that I
There's
think about it.
Drift, who's red for some reason. He's pointless. There's Hound, who's a medic for some reason. He's pointless. Crosshairs is there, and it's pointless. I swear, the only characters that really matter is Bumblebee, the British girl, the
Anthony
C-3PO ripoff,
Hopkins.
which the movie itself addresses, Optimus and Contessa. They're the only characters that kind of matter.
The guy on the right is Hot Rod,
Yeah.
and he's French for no
Can we
reason.
also what's the middle guy's name? You know, the C-3PO ripoff.
I'll be right back in just a second.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
Yeah,
they
the
say that he's a
samurai gets-
headmaster, like a transformer turns into a head to attach to a larger body, but that never happens in the film. It's just a throwaway line that has no payoff.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently in the toys, his head's supposed to combine with Nitro Zeus's body, and remember Bumblebee just shot Nitro's head clean off, so maybe they were originally planning to have that in, but it got cut for some reason.
Yeah. There's so much pointless filler in this movie. It's kind of annoying. It's frustrating to talk about because nothing is plot relevant. There's barely anything plot relevant. Like you have Lancelot from BBC Merlin as this Transformer hunter who's barely in the movie. You also have Lennox showing up for the first time. First time since the third movie as a colonel, trying to do this thing where the government's secretly trying to make sure that the Transformers don't die or whatever.
As that's what I remember. What White said, he should have been the main character of these movies.
I agree with that.
I mean, he has a. We see in the first movie that he's like having a baby girl and that. Like at least that's some type of emotional center. We could have something for us to root for him for.
And then his family just vanishes after the end of one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Especially since how big of a deal was made in the first movie, especially at the end.
Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime is barely in this movie.
Yeah.
He gets captured, then mind controlled, and then he comes back, fights Bumblebee, and then Bumblebee, after it's been established that his voice box doesn't work, suddenly speaks.
Yeah, it also says that he hasn't heard it since Cybertron fell, but he heard it in the end of the first movie.
I don't believe that Lancelot from BBC Merlin / BBC Musketeers was in a Battleship. Let me actually look that up. Let me actually check. Santiago Cabrera. I don't believe that he was in Battleship. I'm looking around. I'm not seeing him in Battleship. Okay. Well, that's something at least. Oh my gosh, there's a Disney Channel original movie called Godmother that he's in. Okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Anything else we can talk about?
Anthony Hopkins is wasted / debased in this movie.
He really only starts just to give exposition on the broken world building of this movie.
Yeah, you know what?
And in his death scene, it's pretty much what a decent movie was. Decent scene was ruined by that guy with the guy saying you were the coolest.
I still don't. I still don't know what the hell happened in this movie. Like, if you were to ask me to give you a plot synopsis, I don't think I could.
At least one of the crazy things said on this stream remains a mere nightmare. Well, unfortunately, Battleship still exists. It's not as bad as these movies, but it's still bad.
There was no way it was going to be.
Oh, definitely.
Uh,
But it's just like Rihanna is in the military bowl. Like, or as well as like just the aliens shoot pegs out of their ships.
Hey, at least it's faithful. More than you can say about Transformers.
Yeah. And we just I love the fact that the subtitles are over this image of Sam Witwicky.
They got the dopiest picture
yeah, like how
that
they
they
get.
possibly could have.
Yeah, his layman's 217. Like how do you get that?
Yeah, and also like it even has his name, Ladies Man 227 or however whatever numbers he
my
is.
god!
Like, look at it. It says it. Ladies Man.
Oh my god!
And then you see this stuff, which is like they've apparently been around since like
What time period's that?
I think that's Celtic. That's a lot of Celtic artwork.
Oh, yeah, it's Celtic.
And then you have apparently they were at Valley Forge with George frickin' Washington.
Yeah, thing is, it just does not match up with first movie when it acts like Transformers have never been there before.
And then they've been all over the place. Like, it's just okay.
Oh yeah, like we even see what is Bill Clinton there?
Yeah,
I mean, so what? Did they kill for Clintons or something?
maybe, I don't know. Well, we know that like anybody on this picture is a Witwicky, a Witwiccan, and
So they were witches, and thus were probably burned for their association with Transformers.
unless you're George Washington.
Yeah, and we got Hound there in a propaganda poster.
Yeah, and Bumblebee and another propaganda poster from World
Oh
War
my
II.
God. This world building is nuked. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's not just world building. Its own timeline is utterly broken.
Oh my god.
Because there is no timeline, there is no consistency. There's just
Could Michael Bay just at least make maybe just one completely self-contained movie?
he
and
did.
not
I
even-
think it was called Armageddon.
Yeah,
I'm talking about when you made these movies, just make each movie completely separate. Just
yeah.
like
Well, basically, Skids, this is what happened.
Stop bringing logic into a movie! Random, incoherent, juvenile shit happens, things explode, and people empty their wallets to see it!
oh yeah, wasn't Nostalgia Critic's first movie he covered the first Transformers movie?
Yep.
Wow. So good job, Michael Bay.
And we haven't improved since then.
Well, neither Nostalgia Critic or Michael Bay.
Yeah. Actually,
amazing.
the man's
It's
Actually-
amazing.
Nostalgia Critics regressed.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, like with this wall review.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen some parts of it. Like I saw single reviews. He said he's seen Nostalgia Critic skits that are funnier than Thunder Force. And they show like the shirtless Nostalgia Critic from his wall review.
Boy.
I did not have sexual relations with that Autobot, Bill Clinton.
Yeah, imagine him like making out with like one of those one of those like motorcycle girls from the second movie, like
Oh, yeah.
RC, Alita, or Chromia.
Yeah. And apparently, like, Harriet Tubman was a part of this secret society, as was Frederick Douglass. Which is just like, I imagine a lot of people would probably find that extremely offensive.
Yeah, the Underground Railroad was really a transformer, and it was an Underground Railroad.
Yeah, so what the Underground Railroad just transforms something and just took the people to the north. Not to mention, what would they transform into? Since this was like the time before vehicles.
The train was around.
Oh, well, what about like something like Revolutionary War?
Yeah, what vehicle was in the Revolutionary War that could hide with George Washington? A rowboat?
Yeah.
Well,
How much you want to bet though? And I'm spitballing this here. If Michael Bay was able to do like a Transformers through history movie, he would have had Betsy Ross making like a colonial uniform for Bumblebee.
Oh man. Dang.
Not only that, but you're telling me there were no Transformers on the British side?
Oh, you know that the Decepticons were on the British side.
Oh, yeah. You know, let's reduce this as far as we can go.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Bay would probably make the British seem like Nazis or something. Considering, have you ever seen Pearl Harbor?
No. He would have made the Boston Massacre look like Auschwitz. He would have made. No, you know what? No, let's go for the Pearl Harbor example. He would have made the Boston Massacre, where maybe 5 people died, look like it was Pearl Harbor. The British are firing.
Make it look like 9/11 or something. And he probably would make. Maybe he would probably make a Decepticon one of the planes that crashed into the World Trade Center in 9/11. And he would probably just have him nuke the entirety of New York City. Yeah, I mean, I'm not wrong. I mean,
I have seen Pearl Harbor, bits of it from Nostalgia Critic's review of it. But it's just bad. It's pretty dumb.
Yeah, does it have like a love triangle between, like, I know Ben Affleck was in it, like his
Kate Beckinsale is in it.
Like his wife or girlfriend who thought he died there, and some other guy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, and it's just a treasure hunt. It's a dumb treasure hunt.
This movie or Pearl Harbor? Because I would believe you if you told me Pearl Harbor was reduced into a dumb treasure hunt.
Unfortunately, it is not a dumb treasure hunt movie. It's just a dumb historical drama.
Yeah, it probably makes Battlefield 5 look like the most historically accurate game ever made.
Yeah. But yeah, I just like the thing that I find the most hilariously awful about this movie is the timeline or lack thereof.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't world building. This is world destroying.
Yeah, this is world nuking.
Yes.
What do you mean? Like, what about the timeline?
Well, just the fact that just the Transformers have been around since been here in the time of King Arthur, not just like in ancient Egypt.
Oh, and I mean, they pretty much caused every single major event in world history, apparently.
You know what he's doing? You know what he finally did, Michael Bay? He did the kind of plot revisionism Assassin's Creed keeps doing, because they need a way. They need a way to keep the series going, so they keep saying, no, the first assassin was in Egypt during the time of the Romans. No, wait, the real first assassin was in the time of the ancient Greeks.
Or the ancient Egyptians.
That's what I said initially. That's why I said because Assassin's Creed Origins is in the Egyptians, yet Assassin's Creed Odyssey is during the Greek. What? That's about a couple hundred years before the whole Egypt thing.
I thought that Egypt was like several hundred years before.
Well, at least probably I haven't really played that much Assassin's Creed outside a little bit of Black Flag. I usually could at least make the argument is that we found more archaeological evidence this happened, but here it's just like, it's just nothing.
Yeah. I think that's the worst element of this movie. This one scene destroys the whole movie.
The entire series.
Yeah, like this is incredibly incompetent.
Okay, what's next? We've already
Uh,
beaten the dead horse with that. That's it?
Yeah,
Yeah. What
that's-
is there to say?
This is less than an hour.
Good.
Well, I just like, well, I kind of am like, there's barely anything in this movie that we haven't talked about before other than the broken timeline. Like the climax of the movie is really dumb. Like it's just anti-gravity stuff. Like it's like 30 minutes of climax at the end, and then it just abruptly ends.
Yeah, I know.
And
And there's other stuff like how Optimus was able to kill all those like Guardian dudes in one, like a 12 Guardian dudes, one fell swoop. Some reason his sword couldn't pierce Bumblebee's mask somehow.
Well, it wasn't a Guardian dude. It was I think. Well, actually, like it was one of the Decepticons.
No, there's like 12. Like I remember, those were those Guardians dudes that are in that underwater facility.
Oh.
They just managed to kill in one fell swoop.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's just
Dang it.
I am going to so enjoy going. I'm going to make videos on both these, and just wish me luck on that.
Yeah.
I ain't
That-
wishing you luck on nothing. You're putting this through yourself. You can stop at any time.
Yeah.
When... And like the climax is just like there's no real arc or resolution to the characters' stories.
No,
Other
and considering
than-
this movie bombed, we're never going to get that. And you know what? I honestly don't care.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. And thankfully, Michael Bay has barely made anything since this movie bombed. The only thing he's really made is the Benghazi movie, but even then, that was in between 4 and 5.
Yeah, I mean, series is. I guess no one can really count on him to make a lot of money anymore.
Yeah, but now I kind of like now that we finished Transformers, I'm interested to do the debate of not necessarily what does more damage or what is necessarily like a how do I put this? Well, like I guess like which is worse from like an objective craft level, the sequels or the Transformer movies.
Yeah. When are you going to have that?
I'm not sure.
Because if I can, I want to be part of that. I could also want to watch The Last Jedi with you. And probably.
But from your perspective, like which would you say that you guys hate more, sequels or Transformers? I hate Transformers more because it's a worse viewing experience.
I gotta say I hate sequels more because I have an emotional attachment to it, or I did to the franchise as a whole.
I'm kind of split on this because I cared a lot about Transformers and Star Wars, so this is
Loser.
really, really hard for me to decide.
Which would you say is a worse view? So you would kind of say it's a worse viewing experience to watch the sequels. Sequels, Derek.
I would.
I
Here's
mean,
the thing. I can't say that because it's clearly not. Because Transformers, like I said, 3 almost broke me when I
4.
realized we were only. 4 almost broke me when I realized we were only 25 minutes in. That nearly destroyed me. I can't honestly say that about any of the Star Wars movies that I realized we were only so long in and then wished for the release of death.
Yeah,
but
I would say that the Transformers.
I mean,
movies
there
have
are more
worse
Transformers
humor.
movies than the sequels, so you probably could argue at the Transformers movies have more pound for pound.
they
Derek?
yeah.
Can I say again? I couldn't hear you.
cut
Like
out.
cut out for a second.
Oh, What I said was, I just noticed that each of them was getting harder and harder to sit through as they went on, to the point where I just didn't want to sit there anymore.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I only watched the 4 and 5 with you, and when I was watching fifth, I was so wanted to die, like even a lot worse than I did with 4.
Yeah.
I turned on Smash Brothers halfway through the watch. I didn't care anymore. I was like, all right, I can hear what they're doing. All right, Bob Hoskins or Anthony Hopkins, whichever it is, they both were in Mario. One of them saying something stupid, ha ha ha, piss joke, bathroom joke. Some
Slubs
Marky
versus
Mark's
Snobs joke.
Marky Mark's doing something retarded. I could probably improv my way through this. And look at that, I did.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of like, for me, like, I would say that, like, the sequels definitely ruin a better franchise
Oh yeah.
and ruin a like better quality. Like,
I mean,
I would say
Star
that,
Wars
like,
is. I wouldn't necessarily say better. I mean, I think both Star Wars and Transformers high quality. It's just that maybe Star Wars is more iconic.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though. There was a lot more to ruin with Star Wars than there was with Transformers.
Yeah,
because
true. Because actually, we were talking about after we watched 4. At least Transformers has the strength of constant rebooting itself.
Yeah.
So it could at least get by on that somewhat. But when it comes to Star Wars, it's never really done that. Sure, it did have the EU, but never with like the movies or the main movies.
I'm actually very interested to talk about TLJ because on Replica Films recommendation, I watched The Nerdonymous, and it's actually very good, but it kind of like outlines a lot of the really contradictory statements that were coming out before and after TLJ.
Yeah.
Where it sounded like, oh, JJ loves TLJ before TLJ comes out and even wishes he was directing it on no less than 3 occasions. And then afterwards, there's all this like revisionist history. Seems like what seems to be revisionist history about him coming up with drafts while he was writing Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So JJ had no plan, or he did?
Yeah, I
He
know.
did
That's why
not.
sometimes I've heard that they had no plan at all. Sometimes I've heard that like JJ did write notes, but Ryan discarded them.
So that's actually the interesting thing. JJ was brought on because it was a blank canvas.
Right.
And Ryan was writing The Last Jedi while The Force Awakens was filming.
Yeah.
JJ
Like
did
I
not
remember
have
watching
time.
Mahler's Part 3 on TFA, and it kind of like explains like how it led to the whole Dice situation Solo, like it recontextualizing that one of the few okay scenes Last Jedi between Luke and Leia.
And
Dice that, just to remind you, were stolen during A New Hope's filming, and were not in apparently 5 or 6. And to be honest, I never even noticed those dice were ever there.
Yeah, me too.
In A New Hope.
Yeah. But it's actually like interesting because it's only after TLJ that like people came out with stuff like that, like people in the cast were saying that Ryan threw out the notes.
Yeah,
Before
I
that,
mean,
there
it
was
could
no
be trying
mention
to
of
blame
this
shift
thing.
more on Ryan,
Mhm.
considering that since that would have been the backlash to Last Jedi its all-time high.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
kind of like what happened to
money.
Josh Whedon with Justice League after just right after the Snyder Cut came out.
And one thing that it actually recontextualized for me is that it seems as though like he kind of like assesses it like there are very few like options for who Rey's parents could be other than Han and Leia. And it was originally going to be Kira Solo in the original like treatments that Lucas wrote that they changed. It was also
So that's how they came up with Kira and Solo.
I imagine so.
Oh,
There was also stuff like stuff that was very interesting, like JJ before TLJ came out said 3 times, "I wish that I could be directing it," including another guy who worked with JJ stating that he wishes that he could have done that. And
was
seems
it saying like in a
overwhelming
positive
choice.
or negative manner?
Oh, like basically said that like JJ was overwhelmingly positive toward TLJ. And
Like I know he was the executive producer for it.
Mm-hmm. And he said that he worked very closely with Ryan on the script. So
Yeah, like I have heard a lot of contradicting things about whether or not the whole sequels were planned or not.
Yeah, it seems as though most of it was like Ryan had no directives when writing The Last Jedi. That's fairly consistent. And it's only after the backlash that it was said that he threw out drafts, threw out the treatments and stuff. So
in other words, everybody's just blaming everybody, and we'll never know what really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing with the Justice League, like with the first one.
There's also the only other thing that I found that was very interesting was actually like there is an element of maintaining that when you actually look at TLJ, they're actually like Ryan seems to be, he does make some bad decisions, but he is pushing back a lot of reveals. Like one plan might have been that Kylo is actually a double agent working to try and fix things. That Snoke is clearly Darth Plagueis and it was only because of the backlash that they retconned a lot of what they were going to do with Rise of Skywalker because Palpatine was not involved.
Like I heard that Colin Trevorrow's script. I've heard that Colin Trevorrow had his own like script. He was originally supposed to work on it, but Kathleen fired him and just brought back JJ.
Mm-hmm. And it's basically we have a bunch of contradictory. It's essentially like we have a bunch of contradictory statements before and after TLJ.
Like I said, this is everybody shifting the blame on everybody, so no one has to take no one has to take responsibility for what happened.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because they turned a $4 billion franchise.
36 billion. 36.
Oh, they didn't pay $36 billion.
Well, that's what Star Wars was originally worth. I told you this. That's what it was actually worth, but George Lucas just brought it down to only 4.
Okay, whatever. They took $1 billion franchise and only made it worth like a couple million, 100 million. Like, yeah, that's still not a number to sneeze at, but
yeah,
you
look
had
at Solo. I mean, holy crap!
You had people. You have an entire generation of people who will put whatever crap you put on a screen and watch it, as proven with a lot of the different stuff they have done. But it could have been worth so much more.
Mm-hmm. And weirdly enough, Transformers was actually more monetarily successful than the sequels.
Yeah, I mean, 3 and 4 made money. Made over $1 billion. It got a lot lower just after Force Awakens, Last Jedi. Force Awakens made over $2 billion. Last Jedi only made $1.3 billion, and TROS only made just a solid $1 billion.
Which that means that they barely broke even, and they had to artificially make it so that theaters kept it for longer in order for it to break that.
Yeah,
that billion
that's
mark.
probably what happened to Rotten Tomatoes, because some reason the Rotten Tomatoes audience score says it's 86%.
I don't buy that for a moment.
Yeah, and it's been like that ever since it first revealed on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which
it's
is
never
funny because it was
changed
dropping
once.
It was like dropping by 1% almost by the hour, and then it froze.
Yeah, I mean, it probably been just as low, if not even lower than TLJ, if we got the accurate numbers.
And the funny thing is, the critics' score is the lowest for any Star Wars movie.
Yeah, even lower than Phantom Menace.
Yeah. Which is a little bit overhated. It's got its problems, but it didn't necessarily ruin Star Wars.
I
It's
mean,
just kind of a
the prequels have issues, obviously, but they're not like the scourge of the earth that a lot of people made out to be like before the sequels came out, or anyhow some people still try to make them see like that, like Cosmonaut.
Yeah. Cosmonaut has no standards.
Yeah. I mean, he claims that Loki makes the MCU exciting again.
Yeah,
he gave that show He gave the show 8.5 out of 10.
I have one response to that.
Yeah.
Also, this.
I know this is going to be weird to say, but that whole WandaVision thing, I would love just a superhero sitcom. Hell, isn't that what that Lois and Clark show was supposed to be?
Yeah.
Back in the day or the current one?
The current one.
The current one is a CW soap opera.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, like, if you had stuck with the sitcom angle with the MCU, you could have done a lot of clever stuff with that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do the whole House of M thing they did.
And they didn't even do House of M correctly.
No, they did not.
So, final thoughts on this movie series as a whole. I am going to maintain that these movies, like, on a craft level, are worse than the sequels. They're definitely a worse viewing experience.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the action. I hate the characters. I hate the plot.
I mean,
There's
the
not
sequels
even
have
really-
all that as well.
But kind of less bad.
Yeah,
for whatever
it's like
reason.
10%, 5 to 10% less bad than the sequels.
Yeah, partially because there's at least chemistry between the leads.
Yeah.
And
the acting is at least mostly solid in the sequels. Unlike in the the only good bit of acting I can really think of is probably just from the voice actors for Transformers.
Yeah. And there's also there's not as much
bad humor.
The humor in
well, here's another thing. The sequels do have the plague of identity SJW identity politics. At least the Transformers movies don't use that, so at least people don't try to constantly use themes and all that crap to defend the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
I mean, there's at least not some big YouTubers like Cosmonaut or Goldman, Captain Midnight, who defend the first two sequel movies.
Patrick Willems.
Yeah.
Patrick Willems hated Rise of Skywalker when he.
Everybody hates it, and that's because it's not because it's a bad movie, even though of course it is. It's just simply because it shat all over the retarded things that they liked about The Last Jedi,
which is funny because
The Last Jedi shat on The Force Awakens.
Well, it's kind of funny. Nerdonymous, when he kind of compiled a lot of the quotes and kind of went into his thing, it's just no, what a lot of people think is deep about The Last Jedi is basically it's just maintaining the withholding of information, and he's just kind of he's reserving a lot of the reveals for the final movie, which I'm just that actually makes a lot of sense because most of the the reveals in TLJ are the reveals that you would put in a filler episode in preparation for a bigger reveal later.
Yeah.
I promise you, when we rewatch that movie, you're gonna realize just how kind of wrong that is, because that movie sort of ends definitively.
Yeah, I remember that's what some nostalgia critic did say, is that TLJ was kind of more like the actual end of the series, more than episode 9. I mean, the only thing, I mean, we knew that they were going to win because, you know, Ray's on Mary Sue. So it's not like we exactly need a 9th movie just to see how they would free the galaxy.
Maybe we could kind of play that, since I'll find that part of the video. Like, he actually, like, it's like 3 hours of content. Like, he put his work in, and it's like, he put his work in. I respect him. He's basically like a Star Wars Dragon Demands with less content and better editing software. But I'm interested to I would be interested to kind of like watch TLJ again and then play some parts of his video
And see if they line up.
Kind of see if they line up, because I'm interested to kind of hear your guys' thoughts on it, because I found it fairly compelling in terms of maybe I'm doing a bad job of illustrating it. Sometimes that's a problem of mine. But I think that there are elements that they are ending, that it is an ending, but a lot of them are so lame that it kind of feels like JJ was holding the mystery until there's some elements of they wanted it to be deliberately lame so that the ending could be good. Kind of the equivalent would be like holding back the Vader reveal until the end of Return of the Jedi.
That just sounds stupid.
It does sound stupid, but it might have been what they were planning, and then they just decided to switch gears really quickly since they were doing a lot of reshooting on Rise of Skywalker. Even like up to like 2 months before the film came out.
That's sad.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I want a movie, an unapologetically honest and brutal, this is what actually happened with these movies. That's probably not going to happen for many, many years.
Oh, yeah,
if
no.
ever.
We're never.
Yeah.
No, we are never going to learn what truly happened with.
I mean, Ryan's definitely not going to confess.
No.
And I doubt
JJ's
JJ
never.
will be either. And I'm pretty sure,
No.
considering since all the actors for the sequel still probably still want their careers, they're not going to mouth off either.
Kathleen Kennedy's never going to talk about it. Same with Bob Iger.
Yeah.
It would just
And
make
to
them
think
look
that
bad.
Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge.
Yeah. 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 I think the problem is just and also like the only thing we've ever really had in terms of like a brutally honest Disney thing is the Sweatbox, and that was like suppressed by Disney hardcore. Who else here is aware of what the Sweatbox is?
I'm not.
I'm not.
It's the making of The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, because it was supposed to be Empire of the Sun.
Yep. And then they shifted it partway through because after they had a Black Friday moment where the execs hated the initial thing, they decided to scrap it and start over.
Where the executives hated it.
I believe that it was it was either the executives or the creatives. It was something like they were like super nervous about, like, I think it was actually filmed by Sting's wife.
Huh.
And they wanted to, nothing was working about the original cut of Empire of the Sun, so they had to shift it, a lot of it, and make it kind of basically start from scratch with a release date looming very, very close in the future. But from there we got Emperor's New Groove, which is extremely funny. And even like, just, it admits that it doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of one of the things I like about it. It's just like, we don't care if we don't make sense. Like, they even lampshaded, like, how did we get here, Kronk? I don't know. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Because it uses the fact it's a cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah, well.
that's
Well,
very
do we have anything else to talk about?
Not really.
No, I would say I hate these I hated watching these movies more than I hated watching the sequels.
Mm.
I think that like on every technical level, the sequels are ever so slightly better.
Mm. Yeah, well.
I hate saying that, and I know that's a hot take, kind of a hot take for a lot of people, but I'm gonna stand by that and say that these movies are worse than sequels.
Yeah, well, I'll be there too. Hopefully Tuesday, I'll be there to watch Last Jedi with you.
You excited to watch Evil Dead and then TLJ, Tarek?
Oh, yeah. I'm just giddy. Yeah, let me see TLJ for the third time.
I think this will actually be my 4th time watching TLJ.
Yeah, probably same here. Probably be my 4th.
What's your fault?
Yeah.
I know. And then I watched it twice in the theater, though I didn't have to pay for either of them. And then I watched it. No, actually, and then I watched it with my then girlfriend at the time, since she'd never seen it. She was just bored, and we would found it really annoying. I think she like erupted with rage when she found out Luke dies. And she was like, "Wait, he dies?" Immediately, I kind of prepped her for TLJ by watching the Hack Frauds Media review of it, at least bits of it before then, and she was like, "What?" So, yeah.
Hack probably needs to release this video on TROS.
Who?
Hack Fraud.
Oh yeah, Hack Fraud Media is great. I love Hack Fraud Media. They're better, way better than Plinkett. Like Plinkett's review of The Force Awakens and TLJ were such lackluster trash fires.
Yeah, so was probably the one Rogue One. That one was only 8 minutes opposed to his usual hour and a half.
Yeah, but Hack Fraud Media actually no, I am going to go in depth of why all of these movies are bad.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'll see you Tuesday.
All right.
All right. See you then.
I'll end it with the only clip that we could possibly use. This one.
Beginning, middle, end. Facts, details, condense, plot,